This video is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Hello, baseball fans. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
Hey everybody, and welcome into On Deck. Really appreciate you being here. Do us a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications so that you can stay up to date with everything going on here on Deck and, of course, with your Atlanta Braves. And we, of course, have to do our duty and talk about something that none of us really want to talk about, and that's, of course, the fact that Ronald Acuña Jr. is indeed out for the season. You heard that correctly. If you've been living under a rock for the past couple of days, I hate to be the one to give you the bad news, but Ronald Acuña Jr. has torn the ACL in his left leg. Now, this is not the same ACL that he tore back in 2021. He has now done that in both legs, so this is quite the development for Ronald Acuña Jr., the reigning National League MVP. No one wants to see a talent like that get injured the way he has. And I know that, you know, when it first happened, I was waiting for that official word of what it was. After the game, Ronald Acuña Jr. was asked about it by David O'Brien and other Braves media. You know, how do you feel? You know, he described it like he didn't hear a pop. He thought, you know, it was more similar to what he did in 2018, if you remember, where he was gone for about a month. So we were all hopeful, but anybody that watched that game live, anybody that watched him fall to the ground and lay there in pain, everybody had a bad feeling. I know I did. And, of course, all we could wait on was the official word. And when the official word came out, it was not good news. Ronald Acuña Jr. did get an MRI, and it was clear that he had a complete tear of the ACL and would require surgery, of course, putting him out for the remainder of the year. Now, my reaction to this is pretty simple. It's unfortunate. It is as bad as it gets for a player of his caliber to miss that much of your career to, 2 seasons now that are at least half of a season in 21 where he will not be in baseball due to injury. And what's really unfortunate is it's the same injury. It's almost like it just keeps biting him, and there's nothing he can do about it. So I really feel bad for Acuña because after all what he battled to get back and be healthy and put up historic numbers to be the first ever 40-70 player, and to follow that with where we are right now, Ronald does not deserve this. No one deserves it. But with how much he's put into recovery and how much he's put into staying healthy, he certainly doesn't. And it's a gut punch to Braves fans, but even worse, it's a gut punch to Ronald. And he took to Twitter last night. If you didn't see it, it's really upsetting almost. He had one word, and it was sorry. He was not taking pity on himself. He was apologizing to you guys, the fans, because he knows how much you've supported him. And when I met Ronald back in spring training, I asked him what was his one goal for the 2024 season, and this really just breaks your heart. He said it was to stay healthy.
A week left of spring training. How are you feeling?
I feel very good. I do what I need to do to stay healthy.
And this year, you know, coming off an MVP season, how do you continue that success, and how do you maybe even do better than last year?
I stay healthy, do what I need to do to stay healthy, do my job. I try to be better than last year.
Is there a chance that we get past 40-70 this year?
I don't know. Dile que yo no estoy aquí para tratar de hacer meta. Yo solamente vengo aquí a jugar duro y ayudar al equipo.
I'm not really trying to pad stats or anything. I just want to come in and play hard.
What's your biggest goal this season?
Stay healthy.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $12,500 off. Roomy and comfortable, the compact SUV GMC Terrain is up to $7,750 off. And GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7 are now discounted up to $7,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
You know, I've had a lot of people ask me these past couple of days, today and yesterday really, does this mean that this is the end of the Ronald Acuña that we know? Does this mean that Ronald Acuña is going to be limited? He's not going to be able to steal bases. He's not going to be as fast as he is. He's not going to be able to trust himself on his legs. I think there will be a brief period where that is the case, where Ronald Acuña isn't sure of himself. We saw it a little bit when he first came back from that ACL tear. He didn't play like himself. It took time for him to get back where he needs to go. But I think at some point Ronald Acuña is going to be able to trust himself again and be able to play all out like he has before, and like there is no issues. There's never been an issue before. But there is going to be that period where Ronald, may not be 100% of what he was in 2023. There's certainly going to be a setback here. But, like I said in the first part of this show, Ronald Acuña came back stronger. He came back better. He came back better than we've ever seen him in 2023. And I believe there is still some of that left in the tank for sure. Ronald is not the first player that has had a torn ACL. He's not the first player to have both ACLs torn. I think the way we are right now, all it is a waiting game. Acuña is on a long-term deal with the Braves. We have put all of our chips in his corner. However, the Braves' road ahead is bright too. I know some of you at home, especially after watching the game today against the Nationals, you're probably sitting there thinking, man, this doesn't look good. The team's not hitting like they did in 2023. The pitchers are having bad days. And now we just lost our MVP. However, I want you to think back to that season of 2021. And I know this is already being talked about, but what happened at the end of that season? Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario, and Jock Peterson helped hold up a World Series trophy. All of those guys did not start the year in an Atlanta Braves uniform. What I mean by that is there is a lot of time left in this season. This is a marathon, not a sprint. There's a lot of time left. Sean Murphy is back healthy. Austin Riley is back healthy. Matt Olson is hitting the ball. Ozzie Albies is hitting the ball. We are seeing positive strides forward. I would also say that if the Braves are competitive at the end of July, I fully expect Alex Anthopoulos to be aggressive at the trade deadline. Alex Anthopoulos and the Braves front office has never, at least under this current regime, has never, ever given up a season, especially when it's not over. The Braves are still qualified for the wild card. If the playoffs started today, they would be in the postseason. And I believe the Braves are going to prepare themselves for an eventual postseason run, whether that be from the division winner spot or whether that be from the wild card spot. No matter where it is, if the Braves are in the postseason or have a chance to make the postseason, I think we're going to go for it. We're not going to be a seller, and I'll bet you at the trade deadline, they go out and get a starting pitcher, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go out and get a bat too.
Make your way to Glynn Smith Chevrolet. Choose America's #1 compact SUV, the Chevy Equinox. Discounted up to $6,500 off. Chevy's full-size pickup truck, the powerful Chevy Silverado, is up to $12,000 off. And big Chevy Silverado 2500 HDs are discounted up to $6,000 off. Plus, enjoy no payments until fall. Make your way to Glynn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Now, all day long today, I have seen the idea thrown around that, hey, let's get the band back together. Let's go get Jorge Soler, Jock Peterson, Eddie Rosario. Why not? Let's just do it all again, just like we did in 2021. I don't think that's going to happen, but I certainly think there could be a similar approach to the trade deadline. I'm not saying you're going to see a blockbuster move. What I do think is you're going to see a lot of little moves put together. And if you go back to 2021, that's basically what happened. If you remember, Bryce Ball was traded for Jock Peterson, prospect. Pablo Sandoval was traded for Eddie Rosario. Alex Jackson was traded for Adam Duvall. Casey Kalich for Jorge Soler. And Bryce Wilson for Richard Rodriguez. That trade deadline led to a World Series. And at the time, none of us really thought that we got that much. We thought the best acquisition was Adam Duvall in that mix. Maybe even Richard Rodriguez to help stabilize the bullpen. What I think you're going to see at the trade deadline from the Braves is simple. I think you're going to see a lot of moves that we may not understand at first, or we may not think are that big of a deal. You're going to see a lot of moves that turn into potential success. So when that day comes, when the trade deadline happens, and all of a sudden it's one move after the other, and we're having a tough time keeping up with what the Braves are doing, Just remember, we've seen this play out before. And again, I'm not saying that it's going to end in a World Series. What I am saying is the Braves are not going down without trying. I can assure you that. So as time goes on, we are going to do more looks at the trade deadline. We've already done a few based on starting pitching. Obviously, things have changed in the past couple of days. I think the Braves very well may go out and get a bat now. So you could argue that maybe the Braves go for a team that has both. Maybe they make one trade for 2 players. Either way, the Braves are certainly going to be active, and I would like to hear your theories. So down in the comments section below, let me know who you want to go get. Try to make them reasonable, but I'll hear them all. I think the Braves are certainly going to be active. There's certainly a lot of guys who are free agents at the end of the year. There's certainly a lot of teams that are already out of it that have guys that could very well help the Braves. I want to hear all of your theories. And as, again, time goes on, I will give you mine. I'll give you what I like, what I think the Braves could do. I'll at least give you what I think they're looking at. They may not do it, but I think they're certainly going to look at it, analyze it, and see what works best for them. But for those of you out there that are saying, well, Tyler, we don't have that much to trade, I'm just going to read you off these names again. Bryce Ball, Pablo Sandoval, Alex Jackson, Casey Kalich, Bryce Wilson. Pablo Sandoval is probably the biggest name out of that list. He retired shortly after being traded. Bryce Wilson is probably your number 2, and he's pretty good. But the other 3, Bryce Ball, Alex Jackson, Casey Kalich, what have they done? Not a lot. The Braves certainly have guys they can trade. We have a wealth of starting pitching in Dylan Dodd, Darius Vines, A.J. Smith-Shawver, Bryce Elder. We have guys we can trade in that department, even if as low as Hurston Waldrop if you want to. But I think the Braves certainly have the arms to trade, and I think they certainly have prospects that'll at least get a look and at least get some consideration. Maybe you get a team that wants to offload cash off of a player that's a free agent at the end of this year, maybe next. Maybe it's, they want young pitching. The White Sox, I'm sure, could use it. So what I'm telling you is there are certainly ways to go about this and certainly ways for the Braves to make moves at the deadline. But again, I want to hear from you. So in the comments section, put your thoughts, put your trade proposals, and if it's something I like, I very well may do a video on it and I'll shout you out. But for now, please do us a favor. If you like Braves content, please like this video, of course. Hit the bell for notifications, subscribe, all that good stuff. And of course, continue following On Deck. Tell your friends about us. We are doing all we can to grow and be a part of the Braves community, and we want you to be a part of the On Deck community. So please continue your support. Get your friends to support. We certainly appreciate you. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time right here at On Deck.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.